now should join on YouTube, and let us begin.
Right. Manik, please put the message link in the waiting room.
Okay, ma'am.
Yes, Kamal.
Yeah, sure, ma'am. Oh, hello and good afternoon, everyone. I welcome you all. In today's session, I may say it's concluding and closing ceremony of International Biodiversity Day, but then yes, at the same time, as you all know that it is International Biodiversity Day today, 2022. So you all know that it is celebrated every year on 22nd May, 22 May, and this year also we are celebrating it. So I welcome you all in today's session. 22 days, 22 actions for biodiversity, a 22-day campaign to commemorate International Biodiversity Day 2022. Need not say, as you already know, that the theme of this year's celebration is building a shared future for all life. This 22 days journey was action-packed and full of excitement for us, and I hope it was same for the students and teachers who had participated in this 22-day program. We first time aligned with the Convention of Biological Diversity. Moreover, this would not have been possible without the support received from different educational institutions who participated in our 22 actions. These institutes have formed STRs and nature clubs in their schools and colleges. The project was sponsored by East West Seed India Private Limited and technically supported by National Biodiversity Board, Government of India. So our chief guest for the day is Mr. Rahul Tiwari, IAS Secretary, Science, Technology and Environment, Government of Punjab, who could not join us due to some urgent work today. So, but he has sent a message. So we'll run this message for all of you within a short while. And of course, we have with us Honorable Director General, Science City, Dr. Nilima Jareth, Ms. Gayatri Raghava, Environment Education Consultant, UNEP, Mr. Girish Patil, Research Director, East West Seed India Private Limited, Mr. Gurharminder Singh, Principal Scientific Officer, Punjab Biodiversity Board, Dr. Rajesh Grover, Director, Science City, Ms. Nandita Mathur, Resource Mobilization and Partnership Lead, SDGCC, UNDP, and Dr. Loveleen Baraj, Scientist C, Science City, Kapurthala. So I welcome you all, and without any further delay, I request Dr. Nilima Jareth, Director General, Science City, to welcome our guests. Dr. Nilima Jareth is Founder Member Secretary of State Biodiversity Board. Prior to joining Science City, she was Executive Director, Punjab State Council for Science and Technology. So, और ज़्यादा समय ना लेते हुए मैं मैम को रिक्वेस्ट करूंगी कि मैम प्लीज over to you.
Thank you so much, Kamal. Thank you. And a very good afternoon to all the experts who are with us, our guests, the teachers, students, ladies and gentlemen. As my colleague just now said, we have been running this campaign, 22 actions on 22 days. And in the past 21 days, let me tell you, we at Science City, as well as our students and teachers who have partnered with us in this program, have been virtually eating, drinking, sleeping, dreaming, thinking about biodiversity. And also taking a lot of action for preservation of biodiversity, for conservation of biodiversity, and also for understanding it better, taking it also to the masses. So they have been our ambassadors throughout these 22 days. And today being the last day, when I woke up in the morning, I was actually thinking of what would I say. And I was thinking about the theme of building a shared future for all life. And I decided that we have actually already discussed a lot about biodiversity. We have discussed about habitats. We have discussed about environment. We have discussed about nature. We have discussed about conservation. So let us now discuss about the theme, about a shared future, about life, and about nature. So, friends, if we look around us, every tree which you look at gives you a message. And the message is push hard and have very high goals. But if you look at the tree, the top of the tree, and you see the sky will give you a message. I am never the limit. There are iske aage jahan aur bhi hain. And then if you look at water, it gives you a message to stay cool, to act coolly, to think properly. If we look at the grass, it gives us the message to respect all life, howsoever humble, howsoever small it might be. So whatever we do, if we look at our calendar, it would say be up to date. And if we look at our clock, it would say the time, take care of the time. And if we have to build a shared future, I must say that the time is now. So we need to act now. And that is the feeling which has pushed us all these 21 days when we have been taking a number of actions for biodiversity conservation. And these actions have culminated into today's program. It wasn't easy, but when we began, we started to garner partners along the way. We had National Biodiversity Authority with us. We had Punjab Biodiversity Board with us. We had East-West Seeds with us, who actually sponsored the whole program. And most important of all, we had willing teachers, willing students who partnered. I know for students, for some of them, they were having their exams. In spite of that, they did not miss a single day. They continued to take actions on biodiversity. They continued to participate in everything. And I'm really, really thankful to them for that. And that is why I say that connecting with each other is very important. And it is also said that connect is the king. So it's a much cited idea. And as science communicators, we at Pushpa Gujral Science City strive to connect and create an environment which heightens the desire to learn. We are aware that when exposed to appropriately leveled content, people in general and students in particular, they are more receptive and have better learning outcomes. So Science City's motto is not only being interested in creating a scientific temper, but also helping all during this journey, along this journey, so that they become active partners in action. And action at the field is what is most important. So I'm very happy that we have had wonderful partners today. We have a number of partners with us today as well. Well, I heartily welcome all of you, and I thank you for sparing your valuable time to be with us on a Sunday afternoon. I know many of you would have preferred to have a nap, but thank you so much for being awake for us. And we need to be awake for nature, for biodiversity. I am aware that Secretary, Science, Technology and Environment, Government of Punjab, Mr. Rahul Tiwari, he had to join us. He had confirmed, but due to some very urgent work, he had to leave. And at the moment, he is actually traveling back to Chandigarh. But since he's in a flight, he cannot join us. But nevertheless, he has sent a message and I welcome him. And very soon we will play the message for you. I also very heartily welcome Dr. Gayatri Raghava from UNEP. I hope Gayatri ji that this is the first step in building a strong partnership between Pushpa Gujral Science City and UNEP. And I hope we'll be able to do a lot of programs together in future as well. I also welcome Mr. Girish Patil, Research Director at East West Seeds, which has financially supported this program. Without his support, we would not have been here probably in the numbers in which we are. So thank you very much for that and a very warm welcome to you. I also welcome one of my dear colleagues, Mr. Gurharminder Singh from the Punjab Biodiversity Board. I still remember the first note which I wrote to the government of Punjab for setting up of Punjab Biodiversity Board, and that was way back in December 2004. And in 2005, the Punjab Biodiversity Board was formally set up. And since then, it has come a long way. Thank you to the new, the present member secretary, as well as to the principal scientific officer, Mr. Gurharminder, who has been associated with the board since its very inception. I welcome you, Harminder, for being with us today. And I also very warmly welcome Ms. Nandita Mathur from UNDP. UNDP has a SDG Coordination Center in Punjab, and Nandita is with us working on several projects, especially the project on the recent project which we launched, which is the SDAS, the Sustainable Development Skills, Attitude and Knowledge Project. And a number of students from the SDAS programs joined us in this program as well, although there are a number of students from other schools and colleges. We have had a fair mix of rural and urban schools. We have got a fair mix of schools and colleges as well. So I think we have been able to have a good spread, I would say. But most of all, I very, very warmly welcome all the teachers, the mentors, and the dear students. And I welcome my friends and colleagues who are with us today. So we have a lot to do. So no more, I won't say anything more, but I hand over the platform to the anchor. Thank you all for joining. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot, ma'am. जैसा कि मैम ने शुरू में कहा कि वो सोच रही थी कि आज क्योंकि बहुत काम हो चुका है तो आज क्या बोलेंगी, सेम कुछ ऐसा ही मेरे माइंड में चल रहा था कि कल हम लोग क्या करेंगे, बिकॉज फर्स्ट मई से लेके 22 तक वी हैड वन एक्शन और अदर टू डू, एंड देयर वर लॉट ऑफ queries coming from schools and all, and we were busy resolving them and giving instructions to them, and that was quite means हम लोग के लिए भी बड़ा एक learning experience रहा ये. So I thank ma'am for this कि उन्होंने हमें ये opportunity दी कि हम लोग बच्चों के साथ interact कर सकें, and the most interesting thing was bird watching and that nature walk. I really enjoyed, and the students also. So thank you, ma'am. So moving ahead, I request the technical team to run the recorded message received from our chief guest, Mr. Rahul Tiwari, IAS, Secretary, Science, Technology and Environment. Due to his busy schedule, as ma'am already told you, has said that he could not join us, but he has sent the message and his best wishes through this recorded message. So here's the video. Manmeet, please.
Dear Dr. Gayatri Raghava from UNEP, representative from UNDP, students from public and private schools and colleges, teachers, mentors, and PGSC team. It is indeed a pleasure to be able to speak to all of you at the occasion of International Biodiversity Day. I begin with a quote from Professor Edward Wilson from Harvard University, and I quote, "The most important problem facing the world today is not energy or economic collapse, but loss of genetic diversity by disturbing of natural habitats," unquote. Let me mention here that while most of us do not intend to harm biodiversity, however, our daily life is such that several unintended consequences of our action which adversely impact the environment and nature happen. We are all aware that biodiversity is fundamental to humankind as it provides all the resources and services which protect the planet. Research indicates that globally nature provides services worth 1 to 5 trillion US dollars every year, say 10,000 trillion INR, by improving air and water quality, protecting soil from erosion, providing medicines, reducing zoonotic diseases, and many other services. The annual gain in global GDP as a result is about 490 billion US dollar, say 40 trillion INR. Biodiversity sector is estimated to provide more than 10 million jobs per year, and is estimated that every 1 rupee invested in biodiversity conservation leads to a return of 9 rupees towards goods and services. Hence, we need to change our lifestyles. We need to move towards a circular economy and become responsible consumers and protectors of our biological resources. I am happy that PGSC took up the responsibility of reaching out to you every day during the last 21 days and took up the challenge of organizing a 22-day biodiversity campaign as suggested by CBT. Probably it's the only organization in the country to have taken this lead. I hope all of you would have learnt about various dimensions of biodiversity and its conservation during this period, and you will continue to follow them in your routine lives. You will motivate your family and friends to conserve biodiversity, reuse resources sustainably, and ensure that the benefits percolate equitably to all. I wish all of you a very happy International Biodiversity Day, and I congratulate PGSC for their endeavor. Thank you.
Thank you, Manmeet. And of course, thanks to sir. Yes, sir, we assure you that students, they have learned a lot, and they will be sharing it with the family members also, and they will do something towards creating awareness about biodiversity. So moving further, during these 2 days, each action was challenging but encouraging at the same time. This could become possible because of the dedication shown by the teacher coordinators and students of various institutions. So to give a closer view of what they did during these days, I now request Dr. Loveleen Barad, Scientist C, to present the report. Madam, please take over.
Thank you so much, Kamal. Am I audible?
Yes, you are. Yes.
Okay. Honorable.
We need to go to first slide.
Ma'am, on my screen, the first slide.
But it is not visible to us.
It's not visible now.
Is it visible now?
No.
I'll reshare.
Now it's visible.
Now is it okay, ma'am?
It is visible, and it would be good if you go into the slideshow mode.
Ma'am, it's slideshow mode on my screen.
Okay. So maybe I think let us not waste time. You can continue with this.
Okay.
But yeah.
Honorable dignitaries and dear participants, it is a privilege for me to present the success story of 22 actions for biodiversity. This 22-day campaign started May 1 with 22 actions specified by Convention for Biological Diversity. So 20 days, 22 actions with participation of 25 institutions. Various activities like expert talks, competitions, nature walk, bird watching, film shows, etc. were part of this 22-day campaign. Each institution clicked their activity pictures, and their pictures were uploaded on the social media handles of Pushpa Gujral Science City and linked to UN Biodiversity and National Biodiversity Authority, Government of India. The event was launched on May 1 by Honorable Director General Pushpa Gujral Science City, Dr. Nilima Jairath. Now I'll be sharing with you glimpses of our 22-day campaign action-wise.
Ma'am, may I disturb you? The thing is, see the slides moving. So may I request Manmeet to run the slide, and can you brief?
Let me unshare. I'll share it again, Kamal. Just give me a second, I'll reshare. So is it visible in the slideshow now?
It's not visible in slideshow, but I think you please go ahead.
Okay, ma'am, abhi kaun si slide visible hai? Is it like
Now it's not visible.
So better we
Don't
ask
try to run it into slideshow. It's not.
like ऐसे visible है, ma'am?
ऐसे
Yes.
visible है और अभी आपकी third slide visible है.
Yeah, fine. So we'll go like this only. So the first action was clean up an area around you. That was on May 1. And the activity was like students cleaned the area around the school or in the school campus itself. The activity was focused on collecting plastic waste and its segregation from biodegradable waste. Action 2 was restore an area near a farm. In this, the schools in rural areas, they cleaned the pond in their village, and schools in urban areas, they cleaned the park near their house. Action 3 was take pictures, not samples. Under this action, we organized the photography competition, capture the beauty of nature or a heritage tree, and we received 182 entries. Action 4 was help animals, big and small. So an expert talk on animal biodiversity, indigenous animal biodiversity, present status and future prospects was organized. The expert was from National Bureau of Animal Genetic Resources. Action 5 was prevent the spread of zoonotic diseases. And on this topic, the lectures were organized by different schools. Action 6 was plant endemic trees, shrubs, and plants. Under this, the students, they developed nursery in their schools, or some students, they developed nursery at their home. Action 7 was consume responsibly. So students prepared a checklist of daily usage of buying of stuff with plastic packaging and other non-biodegradable items, and identified which waste could be reduced or reused. The students with minimum waste will be awarded today. An activity to reduce biodegradable kitchen waste and to convert into compost was also performed by the students. Action 8 was save energy. Online presentation on energy audit was organized, and a poster making activity on energy conservation was also organized. Action 9 was share. Students, they developed a wall of kindness in school. They also donated their books and shared their toys and other things. Action 10 was buy biodiversity friendly products. An online talk on sensible buying by Dr. Harpreet Kaur from Department of Fashion Design, KMV College, Jalandhar was given. And a film on India Biodiversity Act 2002 was also screened. Action 11 was help someone stop smoking. So a virtual visit to drug de-addiction gallery at Science City was organized. This gallery focuses on types of drugs, drug abuse, its risks, drug addiction, health and rehab, and where to seek help. The students were sensitized on the issue of drugs and its side effects. Action 12 was enjoy urban biodiversity. So a bird watching tour was organized at Pushpa Gujarat Science City. PGSC is a green campus with more than 5,500 plants belonging to 168 species from 144 genera and 58 families. Action 13 was support companies committed to ethical standards. So an expert talk on ethical behavior and social responsibility of business houses was organized. Action 14 was change one habit which is negative for biodiversity. A discussion forum was held on this topic. Action 15, ask from businesses to source responsibly. We screened around 6 films in collaboration with Center for Environment Communication, New Delhi. And films were what is biodiversity, why is biodiversity so important? People need biodiversity, ecosystem services, loss of biodiversity, and learning to protect biodiversity by UNESCO. Action 16 was minimize waste, an online workshop on preparing bioenzymes from leftover peels for various household purposes was organized. Then Action 17 was learn about biosafety. An expert talk on GMOs, views and impacts was organized by Dr. K.C. Bansal, Secretary, National Academy of Agricultural Sciences and Member Board of Directors, Global Plant Council was the speaker. Action 18 was support biodiversity friendly companies. An expert talk on access and benefit sharing was organized, and Mr. J. Saundrapandi from National Biodiversity Authority was the resource person, and Mr. J. Justin Mohan, Secretary, NBA, was the chief guest. Action 19 was support environmental organizations. We invited experts from 3 different environmental organizations, Dr. Vishesh Uppal from WWF India, Dr. Livleen Carlo from TEDI, and Ms. Alka Tomar, President CEC. Action 20 was raise biodiversity awareness. So a nature walk was organized at Pushpa Gujarat Science City for the students and teachers to create awareness about plant biodiversity. Some schools conducted nature trail in around their schools. Action 21 was empower someone. So an orientation session on livelihood generation using bioresources for rural women was organized. This activity was exclusively for rural women. So the WTP team of Pushpa Gujarat Science City visited surrounding villages and made the women aware on how they can make logs and pots from the cow dung and can earn livelihood. So the Action 22 was celebration of International Biodiversity Day, which is today. So this is a participation of number of institutions day-wise. These are our social media insights, as already mentioned, that all the activities performed by the schools were posted on our social media handles on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram on the same day. And as you can see that our Facebook reached more than 15,000 people. Facebook page visits increased by 224.7% in the last 21 days. And new page likes increased by 62.575%. And coming over to Twitter, we had around 4,934 impressions in the last 21 days. Coming over to Instagram, our Instagram account reached 287 accounts, which increased by 53.4%, and accounts engaged were increased by 31.6%. So these were our experts. Coming over to media coverage, about 100 media reports of the activities of 22-day campaign was published in print, electronic, and social media. The inaugural event news was covered by DD Punjabi. This is the media coverage. So our heartfelt thanks to East West Seed India for sponsoring this event, National Biodiversity Authority, Government of India for providing us the technical support. Our thanks to principals, teachers, and students for participating so enthusiastically in all the activities. This 22-day, 22 action campaign would not have been possible without your support. Our thanks to the experts for agreeing to be a part of our 22 actions and enlightening our participants with their valuable knowledge. Our hearty thanks to the press for this wide coverage of the campaign, and heartfelt thanks to our own PGSC staff. And this is our team, our leader, our mentor, Dr. Neelima Jairat, Director General, Pushpa Gujarat Science City, Ms. Kamaljeet Kaur, who made relentless efforts for the successful implementation of this campaign, Mr. Ashni Kumar, the man behind the media coverage, and Mr. Gagandeep Singh, who provided the entire back-end support. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks a lot, Dr. Livleen, for sharing the whole story, for sharing the glimpses of the whole story from 1st May to 22nd May. And the hike in the new followers on social media shows the love for science and Science City. And the support shown by the different participants who have participated in different activities. So I next invite Ms. Gayatri Raghava, Environment Education Consultant, UNEP, to deliver the keynote address. Please, ma'am.
Namaskar and good afternoon to all of you, and a very, very happy Biodiversity Day. And I'm saying here happy because it's the first thing that we observe in the morning when we hear those bird sounds or anything. That's the first thing, and that's what makes us very happy. So definitely, it's a very, very happy Biodiversity Day. So can I share my presentation and go ahead?
Sure, ma'am, please.
Okay, right. Okay, can you see it properly now?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Right. So today is the World Biodiversity Day, and the theme, as Dr. Neelima said, building a shared future for all. So how can we build a shared future for all of us? And why should we do that? We should do that because we have only one Earth. We don't have more than one Earth. And so there is, all our futures are intertwined and interrelated. And that is why we need to be coordinating and cooperating with each other. So we know that we have a very big universe, and I'm talking to the students out here. We have a huge universe, and where is Earth? It's a small little speck, right? And in this small little speck, we say that right now the estimate suggests we have 8.7 million species. That's an estimate. It's just an estimate. It can be definitely more. 82% of our global biomass is actually plants. Animal kingdom makes up for 0.4% of the biomass. Humans make up for 0.01% of the biomass. But what are humans known as? Humans are known as organisms that know what is right. We know what is right. We know what is true, and we know what will sustain for a longer period of time. So we believe that we are a very superior organism as we know all of this. So the next thing that I'd like to say is, but what is actually happening? So we are also smart, but what is actually happening? We know that our species are disappearing. 1 million species have disappeared, right? And I mean, I've put in some of the pictures of some endangered animals. You know that they're all disappearing. Ecosystems are being degraded. We know what is happening to the desert. We know what is happening to the mountains. We know what is happening to the sea. Most of our ecosystems are being degraded. 10 million hectares of forests are actually lost every year. And even wetlands, which support a very vast variety of biodiversity, are being lost. Oceans are overfished. They're choked with plastics. We have corals are bleached. We know that coral reefs are bleached. So this is the reality of the universe that I showed you in the beginning, where we said we are 0.01% of the biomass, and the amount of havoc that we have caused to the other organisms is just humongous, and it's totally unpardonable, in my opinion. We have 3 crises today that we talk about. One is, of course, all of you know, the climate crisis. And we know biodiversity loss is another crisis. And pollution is the third one. We call these as the triple planetary crisis. And they're not separated. They're actually connected with each other. Your climate change, your biodiversity loss, and pollution are all connected with each other. When we do our actions, we always think in silos. That means we think in separate individual things. We talk about water education, energy education, this education, that education, without realizing that all of that is interrelated with each other. One affects the other, right? We know that air and water pollution is a very, very common thing. And in India, we know what is happening. So the question is the future of humanity at risk? I would say yes, it is definitely at risk, okay? I don't know if you've built those terrariums, or as you call it, kind of, you can grow the plants in a bottle and you can close the bottle. I can share that. I mean, if you have, I'm sure your Science City would have already done it, but if you haven't done it, I would share that activity with you, not now, with Miss Neelima, so that you can do that with your students. It's a fun activity when you build that whole ecosystem within a closed jar, a tight jar. It remains, it sort of mimics your ecosystem. It mimics what is actually the earth and what happens to the earth, right? So we have one earth and things are not unlimited. We always think that everything is there forever and ever, and there is plenty of it there. The air is going to be there, the water is going to be there, everything is going to be there. Yes, it is going to be there, but is it going to be there for us is the question that we need to ask. For us as humans, how much of it will be there for us? We now know that we've crossed all planetary boundaries. Our oceans are acidified. I've already spoken to you. Ozone layer is having a problem. Biodiversity loss, phosphorus, carbon, name it. Practically all planetary boundaries we've tried to break. We forget that this is the document, that this is the thing that jar we normally build. We are not living off the ecosystem. We are actually living inside it, and we are all totally connected. We must acknowledge that we are not separate from nature, but are an integral part of nature. Man always thinks of himself from outside and looks at everything from, as though rest of it is on the other side and man is on one side. And we look at it, even though we keep saying these words, we don't feel that we are an integral part of our nature. Remember the 4 basic laws of ecology. I'm sure your Science City must have talked to you about it again and again. Everything is connected to everything else. And that's the first golden rule. We know that ecosystem is an elaborate network consisting of multiple interconnected parts, and one affects the others, and we can have very surprising consequences which we don't even understand. And everything must go somewhere. We know in physics, we use the word matter is indestructible. In nature, there is actually no such thing as a waste. There is barely any waste. The waste keeps becoming a product for something else, a raw material for some other product. So there are no waste in nature, but there are waste in our lives. There are waste in our homes, there are waste in our schools, there are waste everywhere. And it is all a linear flow. We do not recycle it, we do not reuse it, we do not at least return it back to the system where it can be used back again. And the third principle says nature knows best. Many people will say, that's a bit contentious. Human beings use nature to the betterment and we can enhance it, we can do it better. But the fact is, nature does know best. There is some sense in it. And there is no such a thing as a free lunch. This law is intended to tell you that whatever that we gain, we lose something. So if we are going to do something for ourselves, our benefit, or humanity's benefit, we are compromising something else. There are always trade-offs. And we need to understand how do we address that? How do we live within the means of one earth? So I would like to play a quick game, and somebody from your side can sort of help me with it. I'm going to ask a question, and I would love all of you children out there to type out the answer. And it's just a one-word answer, and I would love you to type it out. So it's a very quick game. So what is this? Do you recognize this? This is an image and a logo of something. What is it? What does it say? Can you all type it on your chat box, please?
Yeah, ma'am.
Yes, you got it right.
Yes, ma'am. There's an answer from Anita, APS Kandori, Nike.
Yeah, most of the answers are right. You're all getting it 100% right. Full 100 out of 100 marks, right? Wonderful. Now let's get started more. So the next one. What is this? Can you recognize this logo? And can you type out the answer on a chat box? Quickly, fast. And can anyone tell me what the answers are? I'm sure, again, you'll get very good. Wow, each of you, I think everybody got it right. You're wonderful. I think I have a very, very smart audience. Now I'm going to go to the next. What is this? Can you name the bird? Can you identify the bird, please? You just went for your nature walk 2 days back, right? So can you identify the bird?
Let me guess. Is it beater?
Somebody said sparrow. No, it's not beater. Anybody else? Hummingbird? No way. Okay. Anybody else? Sparrow. Who is Balwinder Kaur? Balwinder Kaur, you are a smart lady. You got it right. She is right. It is a barbet. It's not a hummingbird. It's barbet. So Balwinder Kaur got it totally right the first instance. It's so common that आजकल अगर आप बाहर जाओगे, I'm sure जलंधर में भी है और हमारे यहाँ दिल्ली में भी है. मैं आज दिल्ली में हूँ, कल मैं हिमाचल में थी, गांव में थी. गांव में भी कंटिन्यूअसली वो सुबह सुबह बहुत बोलती रहती है और मुंह खोल के गले से बोलती रहती है. This is a barbet, and you would have definitely heard this bird. It's everywhere, and it's just around us. It's just close to us, actually. And the next one, I don't know why this is not moving. Yes. Now, what is this? Go ahead.
Rufous tree pie.
And who else? Go ahead. Go ahead. Any answers? Come on, students, fast. I want some answers. I have a little baby. I'm so sorry. He's crying, but yes. And anybody else? Right. It is Rufous tree pie, and 2 people got it right. So it is Rufous tree pie. So what is the purpose of me playing this game? Can anybody understand why am I doing this? I'm doing this to tell you that we are so quick to recognize our logos, whether be it Nike or Adidas or McDonald's or anything, very fast. They keep flashing on the screen. We're very quick to understand. And something that's just close to our home. Some of you got it right. Something just outside your house, something wherever, or your school. The birds, which is a very common bird, the Rufous tree pie and the barbet, you couldn't identify. It's not why, because we just don't observe it. We don't observe it. And that's the point. We don't observe it strong enough. We don't observe it. So my point of saying is, we all say we love nature. We all had this wonderful, we learn so much in our school, we do so much, and we read a lot, we see everything. But at the same time, our knowledge is only in our head. But knowledge, and especially environmental knowledge, has to be felt with all your senses. With all your senses. You've got to be observant, you've got to see, you've got to hear, you've got to feel, right? So you've got to hear. You've got to do all of that, and the curiosity should come. So essentially, what has been missing in our environment education? Missing is action. I'm sure you all know the story of the elephant in a dark room, like you send 6 blind men and the elephant. So people go in and then they keep feeling different parts of the elephant and they say, oh, that's a rope, oh, that's a wall, that's a fan, that's a spear, because they have not seen. It's like 6 blind men. You go there and you keep feeling different parts of the elephant and you're not able to see the whole system. What you're seeing is small little different parts. And you think that's the reality. The reality is all of that included, and that is what is an elephant. So elephant is in a dark room, and if each of us took a small candle and we went in together, our differences would disappear and we would be able to see a whole system and will not be able to see parts in the system. That's what we do. So I'm going to talk to you about some of the projects that I've been doing at UNEP, and it's not about the project or the UNEP, it's about my students. The youth are wonderful. They have the capacity to do things that can put us all to shame. And first, I would like to apologize because it's our generation, at least my generation, that made all this mess to the environment. And we are expecting that you youth will take care of it and you should do this and everything. We borrowed this earth from you. We did not inherit the earth from our ancestors. We borrowed it from you and we're not returning it to you in the same manner. So let's do one step at a time. So the project that I'm going to talk to you about is we talk about plastic. And is freedom from plastic a reality? Can we actually do away with plastic? So that is where we run a campaign at UNEP called the Tide Turner Plastic Challenge. This is open to all youth from schools, youth from college, and also to groups such as eco clubs in a school or youth association. It's open to them. So you can be a group or you can be an individual. So like the challenge, I know all of you students love gaming, online games, right? Why are they so exciting? Because in all our board games, we pass one level and we go to the next level, we go to the third level. We take it as a challenge, and that's why it excites us. So this whole Tide Turner Plastic Challenge is like a challenge. So we build knowledge and understanding. There is no point in just getting into action without understanding the issue. Why are we doing it? So building knowledge and understanding around plastic use, promoting actions by individuals and communities to facilitate change, and influencing local stakeholders through advocacy and sustainable practices. जो भी बच्चा इसमें participate करेगा, you have to go through 3 levels. Level 1 में आपका knowledge test करा जाएगा कि आपको समझ भी है प्लास्टिक सारा खराब है, ठीक है, गलत है, क्यों है, नहीं है, हर चीज आपको समझना पड़ेगा, उस इश्यू को समझना पड़ेगा. सेकंड इश्यू, जब आप समझ के अपना your personal actions you change, you go out to the community, you identify the issue in the community with regards to plastic and try and change the community through a campaign. The third thing that we do is we influence stakeholders. That is, we actually have to come up, the third level is the toughest level, and that's the leadership, the championship challenge, where you have to actually make a concrete ground level change. And that has to be done. So 3 levels hai. First level entry hai, second level hai aapka leadership level, and the third level is a championship level. Aaj tak humne, we have reached out to more than 330,000 people, youth, all across India, all across all states of India. And 30,000, isme 330,000, youths that we have reached out to, we have wonderful examples of stories and stories of how youth, when you are given a platform, you can actually change. Concrete changes on ground needs to be done. And that's the most important thing. So what I would say is we have a website. You can go to our tideturners.org. उसमें जाइएगा, उसमें एक यूथ की अगर मैं कहानी बोलूं तो मैं बोलती रह जाऊंगी, और मेरे पास सिर्फ 20 मिनट का टाइम है और मेरे को पता नहीं कि मैंने 20 मिनट खत्म कर दिया, अभी नहीं करा है. So one of the example मैं बता सकती हूँ कि हमारी एक एग्जाम्पल मैं दे सकती हूँ. एक है स्नेहा शाही. आज हम बायोडाइवर्सिटी की बात कर रहे हैं. ये स्नेहा शाही एक हमारी टाइड टर्नर चैंपियन थी. ये एक वडोदरा में इंजीनियरिंग कॉलेज में स्टूडेंट थी. उसके कॉलेज के पीछे एक छोटी नदी थी जिसको बोलते थे भूकी नदी, और उस नदी में पीपल यूज्ड टू, हमारे यहाँ होता है छोटी सी नदी है, रिव्यूलेट है, तो लोग समझते हैं वो नाला है, तो सब लोग अपना सारा गंद उसमें फेंकते जा रहे थे. एंड व्हाट डिड स्नेहा शाही डू? She took it up and she got her friends together. She connected with the municipality. She connected with everyone and cleaned off the plastic from the Bhuki River. Just a 4-mile stretch she cleaned. And what did she see? The crocodiles, the flapjack turtles, everything started coming here in that river. And no one even knew before that this little stream had this biodiversity. So this was a concrete action that Sneha Shahi did, which returned back. हम ज्यादातर अवेयरनेस मोड पे ही रहते, अवेयरनेस कर दिया, कैंपेन कर दिया, नॉलेज बढ़ा दिया, बट जब तक वो एक्शन में नहीं आती, ऑन ग्राउंड एक्शन, दैट डजंट मेक अ. सो यहाँ टाइड टर्नर में आप जाइएगा, एक चैंपियनशिप स्टोरीज हैं, आप एक बच्चे की स्टोरी पढ़िएगा. दे हैव डन वंडरफुल वर्क. किसी बच्चे ने बीच क्लीन अप करा, टर्टल्स आ गए, किसी ने कुछ किया. अगर आप देखते जाओगे तो आई थिंक youth have the potential. You are the change makers. You are the change makers. You have you are very open to everything. You question everything. You are bold. You are frank. You can do the things that we never did. So my plea to you is, please take action. आप ये join करें ना करें वो बात अलग है, but let us take action and make change on ground so that we know that environment education actually initiates action on ground. It's not only gyan, but it is also action. And thank you very much. I hope, I mean, if any of you want to get in touch with me, Neelima ji hai wo aapko connect करवा. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, ma'am. Thank you for this and for enlightening us with this insightful presentation. And मैं अश्योर करती हूँ आपको कि हमारे साथ जितने बच्चे जुड़े हुए हैं आज, they are also members of STRs clubs that we have formed in different schools. और इसी बायोडाइवर्सिटी के 22 डेज एक्शन में से एक एक्शन था रेस्टोर एन एरिया अराउंड यू, जिसमें बच्चों ने पॉन्ड्स को साफ करा. एंड मुझे उम्मीद है कि वहां पे भी बहुत सारी चीजों को रिवाइव करने में वो सक्सेसफुल रहे होंगे और इन फ्यूचर भी वो ऐसा करते रहेंगे.
जरूर. अभी ज्वाइन करेंगे तो यही हमारा टास्क है. थर्ड लेवल का टास्क ये है कि आपका वाटर बॉडी जो है, चाहे पॉन्ड हो, चाहे नदी हो, चाहे समंदर हो, उसको आपको क्लीन करना है. बट यू हैव टू डू अ सब्सटेंशियल, नॉट वन डे, नॉट अ लिटिल बिट, बट एवरीबडी टुगेदर. सब थोड़ा थोड़ा भी उठाएंगे तो कितना ज्यादा हम प्लास्टिक रिसाइकलिंग के लिए भेज सकते हैं. सो दिस many you can do innovation, you can promote alternatives, you can do wonderful stuff. But anyway, I am so impressed. Let me congratulate you. कमलजीत है आपका नाम. कमलजीत, आपने बहुत अच्छा बताया. इतना अच्छा आप लोगों ने काम किया है. ये I was looking at that 21 days thing. It's so impressive. It's so impressive. हम ज्यादातर ना बहुत ऊपर ऊंची बातें करते रहते हैं. बच्चे आके हमें दिखाते हैं कि वो एक्चुअली क्या कर सकते हैं. कई चीज रिपोर्ट में रहती है, कई चीज रिसर्च में रहती है. बच्चे ऑन ग्राउंड एक्शन करके दिखाते हैं. इसलिए मैं बहुत शुक्रगुजार हूँ आप लोगों के लिए. You've been doing wonderful. Keep doing what you're doing. It gives me hope. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot, ma'am. It's a pleasure. And with your blessings, definitely will make a change. And out of curiosity or excitement में ही मैं भी I was giving answers जब आप birds को पहचानने के लिए बोल रहे थे. तो हम लोगों को I'm thankful to DG ma'am for this, that उन्होंने हमें bird watching का एक वो जो कहते हैं ना कि वो चस्का लगा दिया हमें. And yes, वो एक बार हुआ और उसके बाद yes, that's why I could, ma'am ने last time मुझे बताया था Rufous tree pie है ये. So that's why I could remember it and अभी मैं बता भी पाई. तो मैं सॉरी भी बोलना चाहूंगी उन बच्चों को जिनसे पहले मैंने आंसर दे दिया. जैसे ही देखा वैसे ही मैंने आंसर दे दिया.
That's natural. Excitement बहुत होता है bird watching में. I understand.
So thank you. Thanks a lot, ma'am. And moving further, now I request Mr. Girish Patil, Research Director, East West Seeds India Private Limited, to address our participants. So please.
Thank you, ma'am. And thank you, Gayatri ma'am, very wonderful message to all of us. And at the outset, I would like to congratulate and glad to note that Pushpa Gujral Science City and the organizers have made an impact by creating or initiating an effort which really sensitizes on the importance of science, environment, and biodiversity. It's key. I think, as in the first talk, the key guest informed, many of the institutes are not focusing on this, and Pushpa Gujral University Science has taken an initiative. Congratulations for that. And over a period of 22 days, I think I understand STG clubs were created in various schools with the aim of changing the mindset of the society, whether it's attitude or the skills or on the knowledge of biodiversity. And I'm happy at least East West Seed was able to support some of these events and be part of this. And I like the process that was done. You know, the students were discovering the importance of biodiversity through learning by doing. I think that's an important step, and I could see it all in the 21 days action points.
Very nice, well done. And just, biodiversity is life. And Raghav Madam also mentioned it, and it's our life. And all of us, we keep on hearing two things. One side, drought tolerance, flood, outbreak of pest and diseases, and climate resilience. And the other side, we also hear how the nutrition is becoming more important, the biofortification, nutraceuticals, and nutrient use efficiency, water use efficiency, and how we can be carbon neutral. The question is how we can address this. It's our biological resources which play a key role. There is a lot of potential. There is a lot of novel traits hidden in them. So it's our duty to protect it, conserve it, and make a sustainable use of it. Just in a few words about East West. East West Seed is a 40-year-old company. It's a leader in tropical vegetable seeds, founded by Saman and Root, who is the recipient of World Food Prize 2019. And in 2021, East West Seed is recognized as #1 in terms of global seed access. This indicates the company is dedicated to provide, help smallholding farmers increase their livelihood. Today, we are operating in 32 crops, providing choices of 170 varieties across India. And organization is committed to invest in R&D, warehouse, and new product development across India. There is one setup with us, that is knowledge transfer, which is basically an extension kind of activity where the team closely work or stay with the farmers, help them accept the new technology. We serve close to 1.5 million users, farmers, to train them every year. With this, probably one last word. I think I take one example. हम कभी-कभी सुनते भी हैं, हम अभी याद करते हैं, हम कभी एक कोई सब्जी खाने के लिए मिलता है तो बोलते हैं पुराने यादें आ गई. For example, हम देखते हैं Lactuca scariola करके. This is very similar to lettuce, but none of us, I think many of us on the call will not be even knowing what it is. It's very rich in iron content, good for the pregnant ladies. We take a lot of, consume a lot of medicines, but this one vegetable has highly rich in iron and other folic acid content, but it's already in the disenganger species. And another cucurbit crop, I can say, Grial cucumber. It's a very nice, and it's a cucumber swallow, looks like a cucumber, very good to eat in the summers. It provides good for thirst quenching, but it's not available today. We are missing on the plates. Why? Because we did not conserve them, maintain them, and sustainably did not use it. So I request all of us to be sensible, and thank you for this initiative to create that sensitization. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks a lot, sir. Thanks for supporting us. And now I request our special guest, Mr. Guru Harminder Singh, Principal Scientific Officer, Punjab Biodiversity Board, to address our participants. Please, sir.
Thank you very much, Kamaljeet ma'am. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. You are audible very much.
For giving me this opportunity to interact with your, many students and PGSCs, I call all the fans, all students, and also the esteemed expert, Madam Kathy Raghaji and Girish Patil sir. This time around, at the very outset, I like to congratulate PGSC for doing out of the things. They keep on doing all the time out of box activities, and this time they have taken just raised the bar by starting the IB Day celebration from the 1st of May in line with the clarion call of the CBT that there are 22 actions, and it's commendable to do each and every day a new action and involve people and motivate them. So a lot of learning for that for the board. As far as the board is concerned, we this time around we also in line with the CBT's guidance, and then National Biodiversity Authority's directions. We also organize a lot of programs. This time we have reached to 5,500 school eco clubs and 100 college eco clubs. So we are also organizing more than 50 events. Certain events are ongoing right now, and certain events will keep on going in the ensuing week. So we also try to kind of rope in all sections of the society. To this time around the focus was like try to connect them with the biodiversity rather than just doing the events activity, so that they can go for a nature walk, they visit a company who is supporting biodiversity activity, or who is come under a green category, non-polluting and nature friendly practices. So a lot of hackathon, a lot of photography competitions, and also this time around we also focus on try to connect with our culture, because culture and biodiversity, cultural diversity and biodiversity, they have a very close link, and they drive a lot of kind of societal and human behavioral changes which are really required for people to act for biodiversity conservation. And now as Gayatri ma'am told, now it's well recognized that the humanity is facing two very important and very dangerous challenge, climate change and biodiversity, and both are again very connected. And if biodiversity play a vital role in adaptation and mitigation, so a lot of action required on this front, so that we come overcome all these problems. And now COVID-19, all the costs related with the COVID-19, whether it's economic cost, health cost, the way it affected the economies. Now again retreated, reshored, redefined that we really need to kind of redefine our relationship with the nature, because biodiversity ultimately is the bedrock of our living on this planet. All the goods, all the system which we derive from the ecosystem, and they all can be traced back to the nature. And generally, we take it granted and we don't care. And now, if you see IUCN data, or if you see CBD devices, and you feel that there's this decline has rapidly increased in the last 10 years throughout the world. And now the action has totally shifted to the conservation. Now, state of Punjab, now Biodiversity Board is started, and ma'am said our founding member secretary. It started in 2005, and all the framework was set up by till the time she was there. We did a lot of capacity building activities, a lot of institutional setup like PMC and BBR were then. And now we have reached a state. Now we have started to kind of implementing, acting on all the three pillars of the CBD, one is the conservation of the biodiversity, then promoting a sustainable use, and also the excellent benefit sharing system under the Act. Now, if I like to talk about the Biodiversity Board, Biodiversity Board now we to connect with the people is a we have gone to all the local bodies, all the panchayats, all the ULBs. Now in the state we have a biodiversity management committee at all levels. We have more than 15,000 biodiversity management committee, which include 23 districts, 150 blocks, 267 ULBs, and more than 12,000 villages. And as they say that documentation is the first process for the conservation, we have prepared the PBRs for the entire state. They may not be good enough. Certain are really good. Certain are still need to be updated. But we have at least one document in each local body which talk about the biodiversity. So that's the way we need the support of the students who are now really being trained by the PGSC, and they can be our volunteer. They can be our brand ambassador. They can really help the local bodies to update these PBR and give their inputs. And beside that, field level actions. Board has already identified the certain species of the state. They have been notified. They were notified when ma'am was there. It was a very, very, very challenging activities. And finally, we have the list of the notified species. Now, out of the floral species, Biodiversity Board has been working on the 2 species which were went near to the extinction. One is Tecumseh undulata. Now a lot of work has been done, and I'm very proud to share now with effort of the board and with effort of the State Forest Department. Now we are really doing good for the rehabilitation of the Tecumseh undulata in the state of Punjab. And now we are also pushing for to get it declared as the state flower of the Punjab. Likewise, another species, Withania pugilans, it has totally gone extinct in the state of Punjab. Like the last 10-15 years, I have not seen a single specimen of this species, Withania pugilans, in the state of Punjab, even though it's here, it was used to be found all over. Now with in collaboration with Guru Nanak Dev University, now we are working on the tissue culture technique for the restoration of this species, and I think by this in August we have more than 5,000 plants of Withania pugilans, which will be planting all over the state in the under the controlled condition to see how it reacts to the the present environment, and then see what can be done. Similarly, one other species, Anogenesis cerevisiae, is a tree species which has gone, which was earlier there in the southwestern Punjab. Now it's found in Gujarat and Maharashtra. We were on job, and this planting season again after the monsoon, we are going to have at least 100 plants from the Maharashtra and some plants from the Gujarat, which will be which will be planted in the southwestern Punjab in the forest area. So likewise, faunal species out of the endangered species, work has already been done on Saris crane, the dolphin, by the forest department and in collaboration with WWF slides on the bird watching day. And but now board has taken the task to work on the two faunal species. One is the Kachuka tecta, is a pond turtle. It is also near to Shinch in the state of Punjab. It prefers very slow moving water, and it was earlier reported to be found in the Kanjali and also the Harike wetland. So we are working with the Turtle Alliance for the rehabilitation of this species. Will be studying whole ecology, and the Indian rock python, which suffered a lot of kind of a population decline due to man-animal conflict, I must say, and a lot of myths about the people, especially the Shwalik, about this species, that this is a poisonous snake, and all these the people who raise sheep and goats, they just harm it whenever they say it. Just they feel that somewhere or other it will harm their animals. So these things we are doing. Now again, the some important site conservation of important sites which are located outside the product area network. We have identified certain site, and we are working with the local community for its conservation and management. And now 2-3 sites are ready for the notification, which will soon be notified. Unfortunately, one of very important site of the state, recently some damage happened to that, and we are again working with the district administration for the revival of the great banyan tree of the Punjab. And we were hoping that after this monsoon, with all-round intervention of the district administration, Biodiversity Board, Forest Department, PAU, and the local Punjab, will be able to revive it. And it's very hearty for me to see that this program is sponsored by the East West India seed. This is a great example. Thank you so much, Girish Patil sir, for sponsoring this event. And since now board is working on the implementation of APS, so this is a very good example how these companies, especially the seed companies, who has a very big stake in the APS, and they are coming forward and sponsoring these kind of events. I urge all the other industry partner, and also request the Girish Patil sir also to kind of motivate and we're operating from the state of Punjab to kindly fill the form 1 and contact Punjab Biodiversity Board for the APS, for which we have already given a public advertisement. So with that, I'll end, and I'll again congratulate the PGSC under the dynamic, leadership of Dr. Nilma Jareth. They do commendable work. it may be any sphere of the science or the natural sources, whether wetland, whether environment, whether biodiversity. They always set the bar and lot of motivation. And I think these kind of intervention required, what we call is the catch them young, as Gayatri Raghav ma'am told that, we have a lot of hope from the coming duration. We have a lot of problem, but I think, Punjab and Punjabis, they are known for their spirit, whether it was, our national security, food security, sporting glories, we have achieved a lot. And I think that with this kind of a education, this kind of a motivation and, on-hand training, will be able to overcome these challenges. Thank you very much. And I wish everyone very, very best.
Thank you so much, sir. We are aware that Punjab Biodiversity Board is already doing so much to help protect biodiversity of the state. So thank you once again. And now I request Ms. Nandita Mathur to say a few words. Ma'am, please, over to you.
Thank you, Kamalji. And exactly, I'll just say very few words, because I think a lot of it has been covered, rightly so. And congratulations to Nilima ma'am and Pushpa Gujral Science City for organizing this 22-day event. I think what you showed in the first few minutes was amazing. I think we're on the right track, so to say. And I think Gayatri ma'am has just set the stage right and just kind of covered all the points. In fact, the few points that I was also planning to make, she's already covered it all. So just very few points on the fact that I think a few words that are very inspiring and very critical at this stage is that, and said by Mr. Robert Swan, is the greatest threat to our planet is that the belief that someone else will save it. And we really need to ensure that this is not happening. Sustainability, earlier we used to say that, when the future generations are going to be impacted because of our actions today. And now it's not even future generations. The impact of climate change, of biodiversity destruction is visible to us now. The soaring temperatures, as Mr. Patil pointed out, the vanishing food products from the market. There are fruits which the younger generation hasn't even heard of. So we are seeing it all now. It's not even future generations now. With the impact is visible to the generation that has already impacted as well. So I think it's now the time of action. We have the knowledge base, and good, we're creating this knowledge base, but it is rightly the time of action. In fact, there's a terminology that is being used by UNDP very often, and especially in context of the Human Development Index report, that we're in the age of Anthropocene, which is like in the recent period of Earth's history when human activity has started to have the most significant impact. And as Gayatri ma'am pointed out, we're just like 0.01%, but impacting the planet in the way we're doing is absolutely, non-acceptable. Of course, there are, human population has doubled since 1970, and is expected to reach 9 billion. So the biodiversity crisis will only get worsened if we don't take steps. And by we, it is also the policy makers and the decision makers. Mr. Guru Harminder, in very detailed format, told us so much work that's going on at the policy level. So of course we need to support that, and in set timelines and with outputs and measurable outputs and indicators, and so that that work is happening. So the other work falls on us as citizens, as the younger generation. How do we make that work? In terms of being few things that we've all of us can do in our daily actions, purchasing eco-friendly, organic, natural products, running away from cheap fashion. In fact, somebody was just mentioning the other day that it takes apparently like 77,500 liters to produce jeans and it just leads to cheap fashion. So if anything that you're finding is cheap, somebody else is paying a price for it, or later you are going to be paying a price for it. So those are the things that you need to be really aware of. Their labels, there is FSC label, there is Energy Star label, buy local, buy fresh, buy local, ensure that the people who are directly impacted, the impact is reduced, because as you know, as the temperatures change, there's a lot of impact. There's a lot of going to be impact on the sustainable development goals as well. And biodiversity conservation is something that has an impact across all SDGs, across all 15 SDGs, and not just life on land. Having said that, being the students who've participated there, in these 22 days, I congratulate them for their efforts, and I hope that you continue to do so and not leave it at just as a one-time activity. And I'm sure Pushpa Gujral Science would be hand-holding all these students at school level or college level to kind of make this like an activity that is consistent, that creates that level of impact. Ma'am already pointed out that one-time plastic and the principle of reduce, reuse, and recycle has to be very, very crucial now. We have to ensure that one-time plastic use is reduced. Learn more about plastic. As ma'am said, not all plastics are bad. How do we reduce our footprint is very, very crucial. Save seeds, start a kitchen garden. And I think one thing that as an environment development student that I also learned in my during my MBA was that the traditional knowledge that we had as in India, across states, the forest dwelling communities, the communities who were living in sync with nature, there is so much to learn. I mean, we don't have to actually look at the West or ape the West, or even look for new technology. There's so much of traditional knowledge that exists. Northeast is one region which is kind of learning from it and being able to preserve a lot of it. And Punjab, for Punjab, biodiversity conservation is very, very crucial. Being an agrarian state with the depleting water levels and with the kind of issues that you and I are facing every day, it's extremely, extremely significant for Punjab to, for students in Punjab to take very tangible action. And I think congratulations to all of you for being a part of this. I think together we'll be able to create that impact. So a happy International Day for Biological Diversity to each one of you who's been a part of these 22 days and who's an audience right now. Thank you.
So thank you so very much, Nandita ma'am, for your words of wisdom. And now it's time to announce the results of various competitions that we had organized during these 22 days, 22 action program. Actually, these competitions, they encouraged the students and they created love for biodiversity. The purpose was to create love for biodiversity. And so the wait is over, and here is time to announce the results of different competitions. So I have the results with me. So, ma'am, with your permission, shall I start announcing the names of the different winners of different schools? I think she's on mute, and let's begin. So first of all, we had organized a photography competition. So the third prize for photography competition goes to Shaurya Dhawan from Baba Lalwani Public School. So congratulations, Shaurya. I hope he is here. So the second prize goes to Jia Kalra from Christ King Convent School, Kapurthala. And the first prize goes to Gurjant Singh from Guru Nanak Dev Engineering College. So many congratulations to all the winners. Let's clap for them. And yeah, thank you.
Why don't we ask all the children to switch on their videos?
Exactly, ma'am. This is really, I wanted to announce that, yes, students, you can switch on your videos so that we can see the happiness on your faces while we announce the results.
Yes.
Yes. For energy audit, so this was a competition where students, they had to give a PowerPoint presentation where they had to do the energy audit of their school or their house, their home. So students, they presented different like PowerPoint presentations, and the winner for the best presentation award goes to Agampreet Kaur from Major Ajaib Singh Convent School, Jionwala, Faridkot. So congratulations, Agampreet. And there was action 7, that is consume responsibly. Students, they had to prepare a checklist where they had to show that who is using the minimal minimal non-biodegradable things, and at the same time how they can reduce or reuse them. So in a row, prize goes to Agampreet once again from Major Ajaib Singh Convent School, Jionwala, Faridkot. This was she was considered the best one. And last competition, last but not the least, poster making competition. Third prize for poster making competition. The theme for making poster was biodiversity, and the prize goes to third prize goes to Supreet Kaur from Cambridge International School, Sultanpur Lodhi. Congratulations, Supreet. Second prize goes to Jairaj Singh from DIPS Suranasi, Jalandhar. And prize for poster making competition goes to Alina from Hansraj Mahila Vidyalaya College. So for the information of all present here, just would like to inform you all that we had schools and colleges as well as the part of this 22 days campaign. So these were the results of different competitions. Based on different activities performed by different schools, we are going to announce best 3 schools who were active, though all the schools, they participated really actively in all the competitions. But yes, it was quite difficult to find out that who is the best one. But yes, there are 3 best schools, and we are going to give 6 appreciations because it was really difficult to make it out that who is good and who is best. But then yes, we had to make a choice, and out of these best 3 schools category, the 3 best schools are Pioneer International Public School, Rurka Kala. Second best, Kamla Nehru Public School, Fagwara. DAV models, and the third best is DAV Model High School, Kapurthala. These schools, they put really like their best efforts to organize all the activities at their school. Students, they did outreach also. They restored the area around their school and in different villages also. So they made that Neki Ki Diwar, wall of kindness they made, and kudos to them, and congratulations to all the participants, all the best 3 schools. So now the app we have now I'm going to announce 6 appreciations, though we had decided 5, but yes, it was, as I told you, there were around 25-26 schools who were part of this, and it was really difficult to make it out that kisko chhode or kisko rakhe, because all were good. But then yes, so first is HMB College, Jalandhar. Congratulations HMB College, Jalandhar से अंजना भाटिया मैम ने बहुत सपोर्ट करा, बच्चों ने भी बहुत अच्छे से, स्पेशली आई वुड मेंशन, इन्होंने नेकी की दीवार के लिए जो एक आउटरीच करा, बाहर लोगों से मिले, जो नीडी थे उनको चीजें डिस्ट्रीब्यूट करी उनकी जो रिक्वायर्ड थी. So it was really commendable. At the same time, there's a second appreciation goes to Government Senior Secondary School, Gobindgarh. मैं मेंशन करना चाहूंगी कि गवर्नमेंट स्कूल्स के पास रिसोर्सेज बड़े लिमिटेड होते हैं, बट फिर भी उन्होंने हमारे सारे ही वेबिनार्स को भी अटेंड करा. भले कहीं ना कहीं उनको नेटवर्क इश्यूज भी रहते रहे होंगे, but even then I could see all the school participating in all the events. So congratulations, Government Senior Secondary School, Gobindgarh. Third appreciation goes to Government Senior Secondary School, Tira. Fourth is Government Senior Secondary School, Boys, Karua. And the fifth appreciation, DAV Edward Gunn Senior Secondary School, Malot. And last but not the least, Maple International Public School, Goraya. So many congratulations to all the winners. So at the same time, just would like to inform all the participants that यहाँ पे खत्म नहीं हुआ काम. हम लोग जो SDASK वाले हैं उनको अभी और काम करना है, और 30th को और 5th को आप सब लोग जानते हो 5th of June को है एनवायरनमेंट डे, और उसी के तहत हम लोगों ने एक पोएम रेसिटेशन कंपटीशन आप लोगों के लिए ऑर्गेनाइज किया है उस दिन, और उसके लिए एंट्रीज आप लोगों ने भेजनी शुरू कर देनी है हम लोगों को. हम लोग गूगल फॉर्म में आपके साथ शेयर करूंगी जहां पे आप एंट्रीज अपनी सेंड करोगे. ये गूगल फॉर्म आपको आपके ग्रुप्स में डाल दिया जाएगा, जो SDAS क्लब्स का ग्रुप बना है उसमें डाला जाएगा. सो थैंक यू एवरीवन एंड कांग्रेचुलेशन.
एक बात आपने अनाउंस तो कर दिया, इनको ये तो बताओ अवार्ड्स मिलेंगे कब और कैसे.
या
ये तो बताइए आप इनको.
या नेक्स्ट में उसी पे पहुंच रही हूँ मैम. स्टूडेंट्स, आपको ये जितने विनर्स हैं उनको सारे जितने उनके अवार्ड्स हैं वो सब स्कूल्स में पहुंचाए जाएंगे, और हम लोग आपको पोस्ट करेंगे, और जो बेस्ट स्कूल्स हैं उनको भी, एप्रिसिएशन वालों को भी, और जितने विनर्स भी हैं. सो मैनी कांग्रेचुलेशंस वंस अगेन.
और जब हम कोई नेक्स्ट प्रोग्राम करेंगे तो हम आपको बुलाएंगे भी वहां पे,
एग्जैक्टली,
ताकि हम वहां पे आपको फिजिकली भी ऑनर कर सकें.
जी. So thanks a lot, ma'am. So now I request Dr. Rajesh Grover, Director Science City, to propose vote of thanks. Sir, please.
Thank you, Kamal, and it's a great honor to propose a vote of thanks. And good evening, everybody. And I would like to propose a hearty vote of thanks to Shri Rahul Tiwari, IAS, Secretary Science, Technology and Environment, who could not join us today because of some urgent meeting. We are grateful to him for his best wishes and sharing words of wisdom at the occasion. And I must mention our deep sense of appreciation for Ms. Gayatri Raghava, UNEP Environment Education Consultant, for agreeing to our request to join us and deliver the keynote address at the occasion. And ma'am, thank you very much for your motivational words and enlightening talk. I would like to extend our special thanks to Mr. Girish Patil, Research Director, East West Seeds India, for sharing the perspective of his industry and commitment to the cause of environment, as well as undertaking awareness, conservation, and management measures to protect biodiversity. I would like to convey our sincere thanks to our special invitees, Mr. Guru Harminder Singh, Principal Scientific Officer, and Ms. Nandita Mathur from UNDP SDG Coordination Center for joining us and sharing their views at the occasion. I express my gratitude to our Director General, Dr. Neelima Jairath, for her leadership and mentoring this 22 days, 22 actions campaign from the front. I must mention here that she has worked meticulously on all the actions designed for 22 days. We will ever remain grateful to you, ma'am, for always being there. We are extremely grateful to National Biodiversity Authority for their technical support, and East West India, Seeds India, for providing financial support and giving us an opportunity to organize this campaign. As you are aware that PGSC had been observing this 22 days, 22 action campaign since 1st May 2022. And by organizing a series of initiatives and activities, I would like to place on record our appreciation for our friends from print and electronic media for playing a great role in disseminating the information in the society by providing excellent coverage to the webinars held in the last 22 days. We are really grateful to them for evincing interest in this program. Our heartfelt thanks to our delegates from industry, biodiversity boards, researchers, and participants who blessed us with their presence, gave patient listening, and interacted with the experts. Last but not the least, I would like to place on record my appreciation for my colleagues at Science City who had been working very hard. My special thanks to Ms. Kamaljeet Kaur, who had worked very hard to make this 22 days campaign a great success. In the end, I thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks a lot, sir. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Mr. Patil. It was wonderful meeting you. And thank you, everybody all. और बच्चों ये काम अब हमने आगे करते रहना है.
जी, ma'am. We'll be in touch.
Goodbye. Thank you.
Yes.